2025, we are manifesting the man, the money, the glow, all of it. All of it. Peace, mental health, $1 million business, whatever the hell it is, we are calling it in because you deserve it. And this is why I'm gonna show you why I vision board every year and share a little bit of my story of what I manifested this year, what I'm gonna manifest next year. And I wanna hear in the comments below, what are you manifesting? What is your vision? What is one word to describe the feeling that you wanna embody for next year? Hello, we're almost into a new year. And of course, with every new year, I love to set intentions and goals for the year ahead. So this is the perfect time to be doing this. I'm so happy that you are here and that you found my channel. And what this video is gonna be about today is not just talking about how to make a vision board or even just showing you how I create my digital vision boards, but why I vision board every year and some of the results from last year and some of the goals and desires that I am gonna set for the year ahead. So I'm also recording this video in time for my vision boarding workshop that will be hosted in January, the very first Monday of January. So definitely check the link in the description below if you are watching this video in a timely manner that is before the actual workshop, so that you can get a chance to sign up for the workshop and actually vision board with me together in a room of other like-minded people and just get excited for the new energy that we want to call in and bring in for the year ahead. So I vision board every year because it is a way to inspire you and keep you motivated. It's cool to have a dream in your head, right? And I always say, like, a dream is great to have. I think we should all be dreamers. I think there should all be things that we aspire to in our life that will help us feel more fulfilled. But a dream not written down is also a dream deferred. The reason being is because when you just say that you want something, you're not actually taking the intentional steps of planning out how it's going to happen. So there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I'd love to be rich one day, or I'd love to be a billionaire, or I'd love to be famous, or I'd love to write a song, or I'd love to travel to said country. But like, what are you doing to actually get yourself there, to be that embodied version of the person who is doing X, Y, Z? So for me, I like to do certain things like journaling. At the beginning or right before the start of a new year, I will do like a list, like a bucket list of all the things that I kind of want to experience in the year ahead. But I'll also do a vision board because not only is it just in my head, but now I have a visual of that dream life or that dream version of me, the future version of me in front of me, something that I can actually see and that can actually remind me of why I am showing up every day, doing the daily habits and routines and investing in myself so that I can become that version of said thing on that vision board. My favorite way to create vision boards are actually physical vision boards because you can have it like right across from your bed, like opposite of the wall facing you when you get up in the morning. So that would mean that the first thing that I see when I wake up in the morning is this vision board opposite me. And before I think of anything else, before I think of what I need to do today, which is naturally where my head goes to, right? I'm naturally thinking about what next step or task or thing do I have to accomplish before I start to go down that rabbit hole. Even something as small as like, what am I gonna eat for breakfast? Like the first thing I'm seeing is that vision board. And it is a direct reflection and a reminder of like, oh yes, that is what I'm working towards. That is the woman that I'm trying to embody today, the feeling, the ideas, the embodiment of what is showing on my vision board right now. And it's the first thing you look at. So it's a great reminder of like how you want to start your day. So that is one of the biggest reasons for me why I think everyone should create some type of visual board or list. You know, there are so many ways to manifest and create this energetic co-creation with the universe through our ideas, through this visualization, through embodiment, and through being. And those are some of the ways that I like to do it best. And because I travel so often and I'm not really able to have a physical vision board with me all the time, I've learned to create digital vision boards. So definitely if you are someone that wants to learn how to create the digital vision board, please sign up for my workshop. I might get the replay for that. And if you join my mailing list, I will send out the replay to my audience. So even if you're not able to catch the actual workshop live, you can still sign up for my mailing list to get regular communication from me about workshops like this or any other workshops that I host in the future. Now, second reason why I create vision boards is that it helps me to tap into the feeling and the science-backed benefits of visualization. So you might just think, oh, it's just a cute little fun thing to throw together some images and hope that it happens. But there's actually science backing the process of visualization, and I would even go further to say the process of manifesting and setting those intentions for the future person that you want to become. So one of the science-backed research that has been shown around visualization is that visualizing an action and performing it actually fires the same neural pathways in your brain. So what that's trying to say is that your brain can't tell the difference when it comes to the feeling of you being in that experience, whether it's real or not. So the person that is lying on a beach in the sand and taking in the waves and the beautiful scenery, you can tap into the same feeling as being in that moment if you just imagine it in your head. Your brain will fire those same neural pathways to make you feel at ease, to feel blissful, to feel relaxed. And that's the crazy part about it. Like, we do not understand how powerful our mind can be. So even in this moment right now, if you are, not feeling so well, maybe you've been having a bad day, visualize yourself having an amazing day or having a certain experience that you know is going to make you feel good. I mean, it would be even better if you put yourself into that actual experience. But traveling to France isn't something that you can just hop on a plane today and maybe do for the average person, right? But maybe you can picture yourself being in a certain location, having a certain experience with certain people. You can picture yourself, going on this amazing date with maybe your future partner, or being pregnant, and having this beautiful child. As crazy as that might sound, but there are ways that you can truly manifest these things into your life sooner than possible if you learn to use the power of your mind and to visualize. And the reason why visualization works so well is because it's tied to the feeling and the emotion. And that is something that we often forget when we're in the process of manifesting, is that we just think, oh, as long as I think that I want something, then it will happen. But you also have to really desire it. There has to be a deep intuitive feeling, an emotion that highlights the motivation for that experience. Also, another cool thing to understand about vision boards is that 95% of our brain activity is subconscious. So what that means is that we are running on autopilot. A lot of the decisions that we make in our everyday life, they're automated, right? A lot of the times we do something and we don't even realize that we're doing it until a couple seconds or a couple minutes after, and we're like, wait, did I just do that? Why did I interact in that particular way? And 5% of our brain activity is conscious. So majority of the time, whatever programming we have, both negative and positive, is really driving a lot of the decisions that we make in our life, and then therefore the outcome and the experience that we begin to have. So if you are someone that has a negative thought about a certain type of experience, or you have a negative perception or idea, or you've been influenced by people around you or society or institutions that something should show up in your life in a specific way, and therefore you should feel the specific way about said experience, chances are over time, these repetitive thoughts and emotions are going to combine together to become this belief. And that is why a lot of coaches that focus on wealth and wellness, any kind of coaching actually, we have to focus on belief sets. No matter what goal you're working towards, we have to get really clear and get to the root of why you believe what you believe, because sometimes our beliefs, depending how limiting, can be the restriction and can create conflict in the life that we truly desire and want to build. And actually, a lot of the things that we desire, we don't go after it because we don't believe that it's possible. We don't think that is attainable to us, right? So examples of that in my own life, I've had a lot of work to do around limiting beliefs in relationships. And a big part of that is a lot of the trauma that's rooted in my journey and my story is around not trusting men, seeing a lot of violent dynamics play out in my childhood. The story was that I am not safe around men, I don't trust men, I don't need a relationship because it's gonna look like XYZ. It's gonna look violent, it's gonna feel unsafe, it's gonna be stressful, it's gonna be painful, it's too emotional, it's too dramatic. And so imagine as a child, you're already telling yourself that story. Of course that when it comes time for me to become an adult and start dating and having relationships, I already abandoned myself in that process of dating and being able to find genuine, meaningful connections, because in the back end, my mind is already saying this isn't safe, right? So I will either put myself in relationships that prove that it wasn't safe, or I will sabotage a relationship that might be safe and create the conditions for it not to be safe so that I can self-sabotage and leave. Therefore, affirming that same story that men aren't safe, relationships are a waste of time, etc., etc., etc. So when you are going after any kind of change in your life, you want to look at what are the limiting beliefs, what are the stories that you are telling yourself. And with a vision board, you get the ability to have that constant reminder of the person that you want to become, while also reflecting and checking back in as to why you want that specific desire, why you want to work towards that specific goal, but what are the things that are actually also holding you back. So having my vision board is actually also a reflection exercise, because at the end of the year, some of the things that I didn't achieve, I will be able to ask myself why. What was holding me back? Was it just like an external circumstance? Was it me and my own reasoning for maybe shifting that goal? Were there just like internal shifts that were happening that made me realize this isn't no longer in alignment and that I need to change and shift where I'm heading, and therefore this particular experience or thing that I have on my vision board no longer is going to work, at least right now, you know? So there are a lot of reasons why vision boards don't turn out exactly how you want it to be. Majority of the time it's outside of your control, but also to keep in mind, it could also be a limiting belief. How much doubt did you have when it came to that particular goal? Because like I said, you can have, you know, a dream of buying that car or being in that marriage or traveling the world or being a badass CEO, but did you actually believe that it was possible? Did you believe that you can write that best-selling book? Did you believe that you can find that deep and meaningful partnership and get married? Like, those are things that you really have to reckon with yourself and be honest and be truly honest. I know for one, my vision board that I created for last year, I had New York Times bestselling author, like right in the center. That was like a big thing that I wanted to accomplish this year. And I still want to accomplish it, but I did not put in any work or effort towards finishing this book, okay? I did not go back over and edit the draft that I have been supposed to be doing. I did not reach out to possible publishers or editors to help look over my book. Like, these are parts of the process of becoming a published author that I have not taken. But it was on my vision board because I thought it was something that I wanted to accomplish this year. And then just other things happened that made me realize like it probably just wasn't possible, and like that isn't my focus right now, right? So that is why I'm trying to explain and show to you it wasn't a limiting belief. It's not that I still don't believe that it's possible and I can become a best time selling author. It's just that I just didn't put the work towards it. Therefore, that becomes my third point, getting clear on your goals, right? So only 8% of goals are actually achieved. Part of that is because most of the time people just don't put the work towards it, right? Because remember, it's a journey, not the destination. And something's not gonna happen overnight. So that means you have to be super consistent when it comes to your daily habits, when it comes to being intentional, being mindful of the everyday decisions that you are making. Is it bringing you closer towards your goals, or is it pushing you farther away? And that can be very hard. That can feel very overwhelming to people, especially when it's a larger goal. Like, the bigger the goal gets, the more overwhelming it can be. So what I say when it comes to goals is like, definitely break them down into smaller chunks. And this should also and can be reflected in your vision board. So what I've learned is like, you know, not to put too big of an image, something that might feel very overwhelming. My last year's vision board, I had an engagement ring. I might need to take it a step back and like maybe just have words that affirm like what type of commitment I want, how I want to be feeling in my partnership, versus just having the image of the ring. This is kind of like one example, but sometimes we put like very large things on our vision board, and it also might ruin the process of manifesting because the goal is too large. The vision doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem attainable or like it's gonna happen sooner than later. Remember, like I said, you want to limit doubt as much as possible. The more doubt you have towards something that's on your vision board, the less likely it's going to be manifested and reflected in your life. So be very realistic when you're creating goals, which a lot of people aren't as realistic, or we make our goals too large and overwhelming, and so we just end up not following through with it. And being very specific, right? So 90% of people that set goals, their performance overall improves. Even if you don't actually achieve the goal, definitely you're in a better place if you are at least setting goals versus someone that just doesn't set a goal at all and kind of just lets life just like breeze them through. Definitely be intentional. And the best thing to actually do is also write your goals down. So like I said, in tandem with the vision board activity, I also like to create a bucket list of the person that I'm becoming or want to be in the year ahead. So that is something that I will do in tandem with the vision board. You can also do a meditation around your vision board and do like a little reflection afterwards, and kind of also just write down and state why you have what's on your vision board, how you're going to embody being that person, that future version of yourself. It's very fun. There's so many different ways that you can do it, and these are all techniques and practices that I explore with my clients in workshops, in group coaching containers. So definitely, if this is something that you want to explore more of, because every time I've created a vision board, I have manifested. I'm not going to say I've manifested everything. I don't think that's realistic, and I think if anyone ever says that, that's not really true. You could manifest everything on your vision board. To be honest, that hasn't really happened to me, but I have at least manifested at least one thing that's on my vision board, right? And actually what I am shifting into doing in the years to come is shifting away from having images of like possessions and like experiences, and more images that embody the feeling of the person who has those things, right? So like a little bit of a combination of both, but really tapping into the feeling. So like I love to have a lot of affirmations on my vision board as well. That really helps. And moving away from materialistic type of vision boards, which just like wanting these massive things and they may not seem as easily attainable to me in the near future. So just being very realistic in what I'm putting on there. But for the most part, all the vision boards that I have created, I've manifested multiple things on it. So I actually wanted to chat a little bit about that because I want to share the results of my 2024 going into 2025. And it doesn't matter what year you're in, it doesn't matter what year you're watching this is also applicable. But like I said, share my vision board here, right? My 2024 vision board. So I had a big desire to move to another city. That was like the biggest thing. I had other things on my vision board, but the main thing that I really wanted to call in, which I did, because like I said, I put most of my intention and action and effort towards it, was moving to a new city. And that city was Calgary, Canada. And I'm originally from Toronto, but there's a range of reasons why I wanted to move to Calgary. I just wanted a fresh start. I find that when I'm working towards a new business venture or idea, or I just really want to focus on this creative pursuit, I need to be alone and I need to be focused. And so being independent, being on my own, not living with family or traveling and hopping and moving around, I wanted to find a place that was kind of like a home away from home that can get me to focus and create that independence that pushes me to drive, right? Because I still gotta pay rent, I gotta feed myself, I gotta survive. So it's like, I still wanna make sure that I'm also in a city that's gonna be affordable. And on top of that, as I get older, I don't know, I just really love being with like mountains and trees and shit. I love nature. I love to be surrounded by beauty, and nature is where I find peace, is where I find stillness. That's where I'm able to see beauty reflected back to me, and just so many lessons in just looking at nature itself. You know, the trees that have been around here for millions of years and tall and strong and withstanding and resilient. Like, I get those lessons through my interactions with nature. Toronto, you know, is cool. It's near a lake, it's near water, that's amazing. But I wasn't exactly downtown Toronto most of my life. And traveling the world and being immersed in different types of nature, whether it's like a beach or, you know, the desert or a rainforest or mountains or the countryside, I realized like I'm a hills and valley girl. I love to be like driving and seeing hills or mountains, and I don't know if it's just something that just like helps me to shift perspective, like there's something larger than me. And I went to LA last year, and I love the fact that you could just drive and like go to the beach the same day and also go to the mountains or go to the desert and just like have this like different type of experience. The same thing I experienced when I was in Australia. So I really love being in locations that provide me that. And I figured, what could be my LA but in Canada? And of course, Vancouver would be like the best choice. That's where, you know, it's home to like the Rocky Mountains, but it's not as affordable. It's actually even more expensive than Toronto. So I said, you know, what's closest to that? What is closest to Vancouver that can still kind of give me that vibe and experience? And I realized it was Calgary. So that's how I ended up here. And I'm loving it. It's like the best decision I ever made. So many things have just come in sync and in alignment, and like just my life feels easy. It's still challenging. I still have to put in a lot of work because my Saturn, my Mars resides here, but it's a different type of ease. It's like I'm okay with the delays and some of the little challenges and hiccups that come up. I can be patient and ride through them because I know at the end of the day, in the long term, it's going to serve me. And the vision is going to become greater than what I even have in my head. So that is how I feel out here. And it's such a beautiful experience. Just everything is just like figuring itself out more so than if I was back home in Toronto. And like I said, I have that independence, I have that focus, I have that drive, that confidence once again to go after my goals and my desires. So that is one of the biggest things that I manifested. And even getting to being in this new city, there were certain things on my vision board that I had. I had like a image of like nice, aesthetically pleasing looking apartment, you know, very bright, minimalist, clean. It's like overlooking the city. And I had an image of like the Calgary Tower, which is just like one of the landmarks in the city. I had an image of the Saddle Dome where people play like hockey games or like sports games are like held. And I ended up 2 months into moving into Calgary, I ended up getting an opportunity to sublease a condo from one of the Airbnb owners I was staying with. And it had all three of those elements combined. No kidding. You can watch the video where I actually talk about astrology and moving to Calgary, why I moved to Calgary, and you'll see in the video me showing you the view and pointing and showing you like, here's the Saddle Dome over here and here's the Calgary Tower. I can literally see that every morning when I get up. And behind all of that, if you really look as far as you can towards the skyline, you'll see mountains. Even in this other condo that I'm in, because I'm no longer in that unit, I've moved to a different condo, it's the same situation. I have the view of the Calgary Tower, I can see the Saddle Dome, and in the morning I can see the mountains. And it's equally as a aesthetically pleasing apartment that I'm in. So it is crazy, like when you put your mind to something, like it's been a lot. I've had to do a lot of things. A lot of things have changed by me coming out here, and I came with just a backpack and a carry-on. And to know that I was able to manifest exactly what was on my vision board is crazy to me. The only thing I didn't manifest on my vision board, a few things. There was an engagement ring on there. I actually instead ended up breaking up with my partner. But I also think that I was not supposed to be in that relationship, and I was probably in it longer than I should have been. And it's very interesting, if I had maybe broken up with my partner earlier and matched with someone else, maybe that other partnership would have been more in alignment and could have led me towards being engaged and having that experience. But I also know it takes time to sometimes manifest these things. And if it just wasn't my timing, then it just wasn't my timing. But I'm definitely carrying that engagement ring over into my next vision board. And I also have to do a safari. So like I'm turning 30 and I wanted to go to Africa. I want to go back to the motherland. I wanted to like celebrate my birthday in another continent. but that obviously never happened, just in terms of finances and funds. It didn't exactly turn out the way that I needed it to, and I just prioritized other things. So that's fine. I'm still carrying that over into my next year's vision board. One thing I do realize that I always add to my vision boards, but I'm going to change, is I'll usually add a picture of cash. And it's interesting why I shouldn't do that, because I feel like I'm not someone who has cash a lot. Like, all my money is like in a bank, like it's in a checking account, it's in some sort of like digital space or container or institution in that format. I'm not someone that like working some kind of trade where I get paid in cash and I have lots of, so I actually realized the cash doesn't really resonate with me. And what I'm going to do in my next year's vision board is I'm going to add a picture or an image of someone's bank account, like that has like a crazy amount of money, like $500,000 or something like that in their checking, and then like $300,000 in their savings. And I think that is going to resonate with me more, because that is how I see money reflected to me. Every time I have to check anything regarding to money, it's always on an app, it's through my phone or like on my computer, it's all digital. So like, why would I have a picture of cash? And that is why I'm saying, like, as you start to create vision boards, you will start to get better at it and like be more realistic, fine tune, get really good at the details, and really ensuring like, is this how I relate to this object or experience? And is it properly being reflected in this image? So for me, that's definitely something I'm excited to try, and just like having images of someone's bank account with like large amounts of money, and it's like, yes, like I will wake up and see that. So yeah, get creative, have fun. My vision for next year is, like I said, some of the things that I just want to carry over. So I deeply desire just like partnership. I always will. I definitely do feel like I'm in a space in my life where I am ready for marriage, and I really want to just like build that foundation with someone and like have that like lifelong partnership. And I understand that it could look like that even outside of a marriage. And I think that is going to be my focus, like finding a partner where I feel like that type of commitment is there in the way that my husband would show up for me. Those are the traits and the qualities and the elements that I should be looking for, and not just the ring. So that is something that like in my mind and in my head, I'm realizing I have to make that like differentiation. And it's not just the ring, but like what comes with the ring. Like, what type of person am I marrying? Why would they be deserving of putting a ring on my finger too, you know? And then I also deeply want to go to Africa. That is like Africa, Europe, a little bit more of Europe, but I really want to go back to the motherland first. I want to go to South Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, Ghana. I'm experiencing #Daddy December. It is happening. I did Trinidad Carnival last year. I'm not stopping myself. I'm single again. So it's like, I just want to travel again. Maybe not as much as I was before, but I definitely want to create the container and the savings for Africa. At least a good 3 weeks to 4 or like a month of just being out there in my 30s. So I'm really excited to have that on my vision board and to really work towards that. I also want to buy an investment property and a home. So that's going on my vision board. I just got accepted into a master's program. So I'm going to be going to school again. The program is a Master's of Arts in Counseling Psychology. So the master's that I'm getting is going to be directly applicable and will add value to my coaching practice already, which I'm so excited about. It will just add more credibility. I'll get to understand the formalities and the theories around mental health and creating that transformation in people's lives in a much different way than just being self-taught and just learning through practice and my own experience. So I can just really be a lot more solid in my understanding of what I'm teaching. A very holistic way, you know. I teach a holistic format to building wealth, but it's like I also want to learn in a holistic way as well. So through this institution, and school also just helps to keep things rigid for me. I feel like when I try to teach myself, like it's so easy to just not want to like read that book or take notes. But if I'm paying someone to teach me, like I am going to show up. I'm going to be much more motivated and more driven and more committed to the process. And when you have those deadlines to submit this paper, or I have that deadline, or I have to practice for a quiz, it'll motivate me more. And like I need that accountability. So that's why I found going back to school would be very helpful and practical for me to deepen my understanding of psychology and mental health, etc., etc., etc. So really excited for that too. And like I'm applying for a scholarship. So that that I'm going to be putting on my vision board, like in a scholarship acceptance letter, you know, things like that. And I will get back to you and let you know if it all works out well and it turns out well. Vision boarding is fun, guys. Every year I do it. I have the highest expectations and I also have no expectations. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very open to like letting the universe surprise me, and it's just so fun. It's just a fun activity too. Like, a lot of the times we kind of forget to opt into hobbies in our life. I feel like a lot of us are so focused on the grind and the hustle. It's either work, sleep, food, friends, you know, or like even going out, but taking that time to be with yourself and to do things that like just fill you with joy, things that don't necessarily get you paid, you know. It's that creative process. It gets you out of your mind, more into your body, into this like spiritual kind of rhythm of just creating. And that is why I love to do vision boards, because it is like that one crafty activity I get to do for the year. I want to do it. I kind of have to do it because it also gives back to me, not even just like in a nurturing, joyful way, but it is one of the key ingredients to my success. So that if you want to join the vision board workshop that I will be hosting on the first Monday of January 2025, please check the description below and sign up for it. I have maybe about 200 people who signed up so far, which is amazing. I'd love to see more people come out. I vision board because it is motivational, it keeps me accountable, and it just gets me excited about the future version of myself and what I'm gonna experience and the person that I want to be. And it just gets me really excited for the goals that are gonna come my way, the destination, but also challenging me to show up every day along that journey to eventually get to where I want to go. So if you found this video helpful, if this has inspired you or got you excited to do your own vision board, definitely like and subscribe to see more videos similar to this. I hope to see you in Monday's workshop. And if not, I will see you another time. Also sign up for my mailing list to be informed about other workshops that I will be holding. And like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, and I will see you in another video. All the best for 2025 and Happy New Year.